Dan, I mean, it's a very strange situation. You've got Henry Winter, the respected Daily Telegraph writer, commenting that Louis van Gaal is talking about his plans for next season at Manchester United. We've got Paddy Crerand, former United legend, listening into this, and people are going to be saying, well, hold on a minute, United haven't confirmed this story. They haven't released it, so how can we be confident it is true?
Sorry,
I'm asking Dan. Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you were asking Paddy. Well, I mean, we you know, you listen and you talk, and you know, the club haven't confirmed this. You're absolutely right. And as I say, there's still some details, but that's their intention. They do intend to wrap it up next week, and they have to be mindful of the possibilities that Mourinho would go somewhere else. That's obviously a factor, a pressure as well on them. They don't want to lose their opportunity to bring him in. I think ultimately they realise that, you know, as I say, coming fifth and qualifying for the Europa League just simply isn't good enough for a club of United's stature, and they had to work out whether there was a prospect of that improving if Van Gaal was given a third season in charge. You've got to bear in mind as well that he spent £250 million on new players in his 2 seasons in charge. That's an awful lot of money.
OK, well, let's hear from Paddy Crerand, Dan, former United player, who's still at Wembley. Paddy, good evening to you. Firstly, congratulations to United on winning the FA Cup.
I've just been listening to Dan there. Where does he get that rubbish from? I've just been down outside the United dressing room and saw Ed Woodward hug Van Gaal as we were doing an interview with him. Where do they get these stories from? Do they make them up, or do they just think, I'll do something or say something sensationalising something that they know nothing about?
So do you think Louis van Gaal could be there at the start of next season?
Yes. Yeah, I do.
Do you believe he will be?
No, I don't believe. I can only guess about... I think he'll be there next year, yeah. Well, the reaction I saw from the Cup win and Ed coming out and hugging Louis van Gaal, all that sort of thing, and there's been so much speculation. It's incredible. It's incredible. Now, I get the daily newspapers, believe me. I'll look at the date and I'll think, well, is it that date? And if it is that date, that's the closest they get to the truth. Everything is speculation on their part. They guess about everything. Do you think the manager of Manchester United or the chairman of Manchester United actually goes to Dan or somebody else and says, yeah, we're doing this? Where did they get that information from? Did he make it up, or where did it come from? Did he pluck it out of fresh air or whatever?
Well, let me put that question to Dan. Have you plucked it out of fresh air, Dan?
Where did you get the story from?
Go on, Dan.
I mean, obviously no one expects you to reveal where you get stories from. That would be ridiculous. But obviously no one's guessing. You don't report this until you're sure. But otherwise would have been guessing a while ago.
You know for sure the manager's gone.
Well, he hasn't gone yet. Obviously, he's still in position.
No, but do you think he's gone then? The season's over now. They have played the last game. They're not going to play any more games this season.
Well, yes, I believe he's managed his last game at United. Yes.
What makes you believe that?
Well, the information that we've received.
Information from who?
Adrian, I've got to go, sorry, but listen...
No, wait a minute, this is the big excuse everybody makes. Well, I can't tell you who told me and all that crap. I'm fed up listening to it. I've just been with Ed Woodward down the stairs, hugging Louis van Gaal, and you're telling me, from who? Why don't you come out and say who it is?
Well, Paddy, you would understand that journalists cannot name their sources.
Why not?
Because that source...
to do it. Source about what?
Because the source wouldn't speak to them again.
Just a minute, please. This is not a story about somebody that's committed murder, going to the gas chamber or getting hung or something. This is a story about football. Why don't you come out and say where it's come from? Because you know why? He probably doesn't. He's probably guessing or whatever it is. That's all he ever do is guess.
Paddy, let me ask you about Louis van Gaal, because I was at United's game against Everton recently at Old Trafford when United won 1-0, and it was a 3-pointer, so well done to United. But it was one of those games that the people sitting around me at Old Trafford said, look, this is typical of Van Gaal. It's a dull game. It's not in the United tradition.
I hear something. Let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I watched Seville play in Liverpool the other day. Are they going to sack Klopp? Because Liverpool were awful. Awful. Are they going to sack Klopp? I can't hear a word. Is everybody going quiet?
No, I'm listening to you, Paddy.
Are they going to sack Klopp? Because the game was awful. They lost to a Seville team that were absolute garbage. So is he going to get the bullet?
Not as far as I know, Paddy. Listen, Paddy,
Oh,
good to
yeah.
speak to you. Thank you
All
very
right
much
then.
indeed. Thanks
Cheers.
also to Dan Rowan,
Cheers, mate.
BBC